And welcome into the Gary Ayd Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. CaveTalkRadio.com, the Cave Talk Radio app, Apple CarPlay, Facebook and YouTube Live, and Amazon Alexa. Great to have you aboard. And we'll give you one guess what we're going to start the show with today. Oh, man, what a day. See, this is the type of thing you love to see. It's the type of thing that you absolutely dream of if you're a talk show host. One dirty little secret about this business is after a while, you stop caring so much about what and start caring a lot more about how, as in how talking how much of a talking point is it? How much of a story is it? How much sizzle is there? After a while, you stop going to the steakhouse in this business, the steak, and more for the sizzle. And so I'm always rooting for the sizzle. And last night we got plenty of sizzle. So Steve Nash out as the Brooklyn Nets head coach. It's not been 100% confirmed yet, but it looks more likely than not that embattled Ime Udoka of the Boston Celtics will be replacing him. So we're going to kind of unpack this one thing at a time. So let's start with the Nash firing. Nash was a lousy coach. He was never qualified to have that position in the first place. It's not his fault that he took it. It was offered to him. He took it. But he had no business having it. He at no point really seemed to have a handle on this job, and now he's no longer in the job. People are going to blame Kyrie Irving. That's going to be the most popular scapegoat. People are going to blame, to I think a lesser degree, Kevin Durant. Others will blame Sean Marks. Some will blame Joe Tsai, the owner. The bottom line is, when something goes this spectacularly bad, at least according to internal and most people's external expectations, I'm going to exempt myself from this because I've never believed in this group. Someone gets to pay the price, and it's always the coach. Now, there's blame to go around here. This is not a one-person blame game, but I will tell you this. I think that Nash, had he been a better coach, would have gotten more out of this team. I think that a coach adept at handling egos would have figured this out. I think Steve Kerr would have figured this out. I think Phil Jackson certainly would have figured this out. I think a lot of coaches would have figured this out. I think Eric Spoelstra would have figured this out. A good coach would have figured this out. Steve Nash is not a good coach. He was a one-dimensional player, and he's a one-dimensional coach. He is good as long as you can shoot threes and play transition offense. If you can't do that, he doesn't know. It's not the same sport to him anymore. That's the only version of basketball he recognizes. So unless you're going to do that, you're not going to win with him. So he was a loser as a player. He's a loser as a head coach. And he can get you to a certain level, and that's all he can do. He got them to that level, which is the second round of the playoffs. That's all you were ever going to get out of Steve Nash as a player or a coach. And that's the bottom line. So now the question is, okay, beyond Steve Nash, well, what other problems do we have? Well, let's see. You have a team, a front office, an ownership group that is basically waging a cold war with its second best player. That's probably bad. You have a media that is trying to turn that cold war to a warm war with said second best player. That's definitely bad. And you have a first best player who has never been a leader to try to steer you through the aforementioned cold and warm wars with the media, the ownership, and the second best player. That's also bad. Besides that, things are great. This is a dumpster fire, man. I mean, this is a mess. Steve Nash had a lot of problems. He was lousy at his job. And I do think now that gives me the next piece. I said this yesterday, when we were talking about this in a more hypothetical sense before it actually happened. If they move on from Nash, well, depending who they hire, it could help them a lot. That's what I said, because ultimately Nash is such a bad coach that hiring an average coach would make a noticeable difference in team quality. They didn't hire, if it's Udoka, they're not hiring an average coach. They're hiring one of the 10 best coaches, maybe 7 best coaches in the entire NBA. I don't care what people want to talk about with his recent infidelity transgressions. At the end of the day, he had an affair. Like millions and millions of people.
But not illegal.
Dumb. It was really dumb to do it with the boss's wife. But ultimately, it really doesn't matter in terms of his ability to coach a team. This guy's a great coach. If the Nets end up with this guy, this is the best personnel move they've made since hiring Kenny Atkinson, because all the other moves they've made have been disasters. Nash was a disaster. Kyrie and Kevin Durant to this point have been disasters. James Harden was a mega disaster. Yeah. Ben Simmons is, I don't even know what you call that. That's like a calamity. This whole thing is, it's just a mess, man. It's the first good thing they're doing.
Oh, that just made my day.
I don't know. What's worse than a disaster? A calamity? I don't know.
I'm not going to be as hard on Nash as you. I completely agree he was the wrong hire. Not just for this team, for any team.
Right.
I don't have the confidence that Nash will work his way back in and be better like I was with Jason Kidd. There's a bit of a difference there. Could Nash work his way in a better organization and get better? Yes, if he has the right people around him. But shame on the Nets for not putting any of those people around him. Blame goes to the front office for handling the entirety of it terribly.
Oh, the whole thing's been a disaster.
The Kyrie thing, if you're going to support some anti-Semitic home, it doesn't ring if you do it in Oklahoma City than if you do it in Brooklyn.
Right.
So despite the fact that a lot of people want that to go away, it's an issue. And it's going to be. And Kyrie needs to learn a little history and remember who founded this league. So there's an issue there. Charge a player for talking on a subject. I'll call them out when I disagree with them or when I think it's nonsensical. But, dude, pick your fights. It's better than this. And Durant is no leader, as you have said on many occasions. And it's absolutely correct. Kyrie has more leadership skills on the court than Durant does.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean,
if you think Durant's going to fix anything?
Oh, no way.
Between player A and player B, or player B and front office?
No chance. Never going to happen.
He's just going to make it worse.
Never going to happen.
And what's he going to fix with the media?
Right.
Who he can't stand. The whole situation, it's a dumpster fire.
Now, let me ask this. How much do you think the hiring of Udoka, if that does become finalized, how much do you think that helps matters?
I think it helps some.
Okay.
It's not going to fix everything.
Does it make them a playoff team?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, he's that good of a coach.
Are they a playoff team right now?
No.
I agree. Okay. So
no, I don't think they're better than the Raptors.
And then my last question on this: how many
are a marginal playoff team?
Right. My last question on this: how many coaches, if you could hire any coach, let's just say every coach in the NBA was a free agent, and the Nets could hire any one of them, how many of those available coaches would turn them from a non-playoff team to a playoff team in your estimation? 5,
Steve Kerr.
7? Maybe Popovich.
Maybe a younger Popovich.
Yeah, he's too grouchy now.
Yeah, look at Milwaukee.
Yeah, but Budenholzer. Yep.
Budenholzer can do it.
Spoelstra
Udoka's up there. Udoka's up there with them.
Yep. I guess Spoelstra.
Yeah, Spoelstra has always made the best of bad situations. This one's kind of tough, though.
It's tough.
I think between the guys you and I just mentioned and Udoka, that's the list.
Maybe Jason Kidd, maybe. Jason Kidd's a good coach.
Jason Kidd is a good coach. Jason Kidd's very fortunate to have a superstar who's on the same page.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, the point is maybe it's 4 guys, maybe it's 6, maybe it's 7. It's a short list. And that was the point I was driving at. Let's Net fans, if this goes to happen, and I'm about 90% sure it is, with the Udoka hiring to replace the fired Nash, let's not have too much snarky, stupid memes of hide the wives and all this stuff. If you want your team to turn around as best as its roster is capable of turning around, you need to not kick this guy out of town before he lands in Brooklyn, because this guy's as good of a coach as you're likely going to be able to hire anytime soon. So this is a unique opportunity. And the truth is, I still think they've played reasonably well anyway, but I still think you're somewhat chinking the armor, so to speak, a little bit of one of your chief rivals in the East by taking this coach from them. I can't believe that they're gonna be equally good without him there. I think they're gonna be fine because they have so much talent, and he installed things that the next coach is just smart enough to kind of leave alone. But when you lose a talent like this, it has an effect. So it's a double whammy for the Nets in a good way. So I'm afraid the fans, though, as we've seen with Yankee fans with Judge, we were talking about that yesterday. I'm afraid the fans are going to burn this before it has a chance to start. And, that's going to be unfortunate because mark my words, this is your last shot at trying to salvage whatever you can salvage from this failed experiment. If this doesn't work, Sean Marks is out. Kevin Durant and Kyrie will be traded, and they'll do a whole scale rebuild, and you won't recognize anyone on this roster in 12 months. That's what will happen. That's the next step if this doesn't work. So you better welcome Udoka if they do hire him.
And if fans do what I expect some fans will do, because it's what they do, it's going to upset Durant a lot more than Udoka.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. Udoka can handle it.
Well, Durant already has a burner account to follow Udoka, I heard. Maybe 2.
What does he want? Dating advice? Come on.
I wonder if Musk is going to crack down on burner accounts too. Musk might be coming for you, KD. You better watch out.
All depends what names he uses.
That's right.
If they're good giveaways. I think Udoka can make some difference. I think there's other organizational issues, but I think he can make some difference. On the court, there's not many better on the bench. And he's in a unique situation where other coaches are not, except for Steve Kerr. He has handled 2 stars and done it extremely well when everyone doubted that he could do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting as it relates to where the Nets go from here, assuming they end up hiring Udoka. I think that's a shot in the arm. And I think if there's anyone that can figure out he's proven, whereas Kerr has proven to be an adept manager of egos, Udoka's proven to be the ultimate NBA jigsaw puzzle specialist, meaning he's able to figure out how to put square pegs in round holes and make seemingly incompatible pieces look like they're the pair of the same gloves for custom design for one person. He's a magician at that kind of thing. And that's what this team needs, in addition to just some, respectability as far as, someone that they're going to look at as a coach and not as just like the wallflower they planted. Because that was the other thing with the Nash hiring is he was a wallflower, a plant from the very beginning. The way he was hired and who he was hired by and what they said publicly about the hiring made him absolutely moot and impotent before he ever got to the
Right.
arena.
Right.
You know, that's not going
Again,
to be the case
not
here.
100% his fault.
Not his fault, but you know, the one thing that is his fault, I don't often fault someone for taking a job. I fault him for taking this job under those circumstances. He really should have known better that with that being, because that was said publicly. It wasn't even like that was like a, you know, a covert thing. They
Right.
were like blatant about that. That to me shows a little bit of desperation on Nash's part to have taken this job, because that was a stupid thing to do. It was taking the job in the first place. But that said, that wasn't where I was going with this. So that said, Udoka will bring, I think, a actual sense of, okay, I'm not your buddy, I'm not your plant, I'm your coach, and you're going to listen to me, which this team desperately needs. And more importantly, if there's anyone that can figure out the conglomerate of Durant, Irving, and Simmons, it's this guy.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Net fans really should be excited about this. And then let's hold the wife jokes for a little while, okay? Because this guy might be able to save your season.
I would hope so. And again, there's plenty of roles in basketball for Steve Nash. He's not an incompetent human being.
No, I mean,
coaching is not one of them.
No, I mean, maybe he can be like a special instructor. Maybe he could be, you know, some type of advisor, or, you know, maybe he just, you know, because he's one of those guys that made enough money that he doesn't really need the day-to-day responsibility of a quote-unquote real job. Be like a special advisor to the CEO or something, make a couple $100,000 a year, couple of goodwill appearances on behalf of the team, and
will appear great at.
Yes.
I have a question for you before we end this, and I know we've gone on a bit. Boston has given the okay.
Yes.
From what I've heard.
Yes.
If this hiring doesn't go through, who would you even consider going after if they don't get Udoka?
Who would I consider? Who would I consider? Or
yeah, if it were you, who would you consider?
Oh, if I can't get Udoka, I'm blowing it up. I'm going into immediate fire sale mode and starting the process. I'm trading Durant. I'm trading Irving. I'm trying to trade Ben Simmons, maybe even Joe Harris and Seth Curry. Like, I'm going full Oklahoma City mode. Like, to me, there's no one else that's going to be available that has a chance at fixing this and salvaging this. And if I can't fix or salvage this, I need to as quickly and thoroughly start the process of going in a new direction as I can. So I'm going Utah. I'm going Oklahoma City. I'm going full on fire sale mode if I don't get Udoka. That's what I would do.
I think they're going to get him.
I do too. And I think it's good that they're going to get him because he, like I just said, I think he's their last best chance. So there you have it. If you're enjoying this video, this show on Facebook, please hit the like and share button. It really helps us. We do appreciate it. We'll be back in 120 seconds. That's 2 minutes. And we will continue on with the radio question of the day and a whole lot more. Just getting rolling here. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, You watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then, if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
All righty, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show. Great to have you aboard, Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo, and of course the news of the day: Steve Nash out as the Brooklyn Nets head coach. Maybe Ime Udoka from Boston in. That's not 100% confirmed yet, but it looks like the type of thing that might even be confirmed while we're on the air today. We'll keep an eye on that in case it breaks while we're here. I'll tell you one thing before we get to the question of the day: if you're a fan of the Celtics, like a fan, I'm not talking about like, the organization. I don't know how I would feel with this news. Like, if I'm a fan, I was kind of annoyed that we took the approach we did with this guy before. Now I'm like super annoyed that he's going to be going somewhere else, and even more so that it could be a conference rival that's in pretty close geographic proximity too. It's not like this is Atlanta even. This is like right down the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Like, this is like not far away. Right down 84. So
I am as well.
I'm
surprised. I'm surprised they said okay to it.
Yeah, if I was a fan, I would be upset at this. I really would
too. I'm really surprised they said, "Oh yeah, take our coach."
Well, because they don't want him back, and like they probably have worked in the time since the suspension. I'm sure they've gone through his contract with a fine-tooth comb with an army of lawyers, and they've probably come to the conclusion that they don't have enough grounds to terminate his contract without paying it. So this would give them the out, and they don't want to bring him back. So that's the only conclusion I can draw to, is like this is a lifeboat as much for the Celtics as it is for the Nets. So it's a mutual beneficial for both organizations, but it's a total loss for the Celtic fans, I would say.
I agree. Wouldn't they still have to pay that contract?
Not if the Nets assumed it. No.
Okay, what if Udoka signed for as a figure $5 million in Boston, and the Nets offered him $3.5 million?
I see what you're saying.
I think they might just have to pay the difference, but it's still a lot of money.
See, I was thinking that they would be assuming the Boston contract, not signing him to a new one. They would just be assuming the balance of time and money left on that existing contract. It'd be more or less like a trade, but there was nothing going back the other direction.
See, this is new territory.
It is new territory. I think my hunch, my belief is that it's something like a waiver claim, where the assuming team assumes what's left on the contract once they acquire them. And then while that player, or in this case coach, is on waivers, he is still the financial responsibility of the team that waived him. So I think this is going to be treated like a waiver acquisition. That's what I feel like. But we can maybe try to verify that. But my educated guess would be that that's how this plays out. So I would think the Nets would just assume whatever's remaining on the Udoka contract should they hire him.
Okay, that makes sense.
Since he was never fired, right? He was suspended.
Yeah. See, I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could go a number of different ways, right? Like it definitely doesn't have to go that way, but that seems plausible to me.
Because I could also see the Nets trying to lowball it too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, that is that. We can talk more on this a little later, perhaps. But right now, it's time for the question of the day.
Australia's diamonds lost a small fortune. I am KO, back in 1 minute with your sports question of the day.
You've been working hard, doing the right thing, and paying your taxes and putting your hard-earned money in the Medicare piggy bank all your life. And now it's time to break the piggy bank and get something back. Medicare. If you didn't know it, Medicare is health insurance for people over 65, and you paid for it with your tax dollars. Medicare plans now have more benefits than ever. That's good news, especially if you're like me and looking forward to paying as little as possible for good health insurance. Call and find out what Medicare plan is best for you. Save your time. It's valuable. We've already done the research for you. And in one quick phone call, you can learn how to get the best Medicare plan designed exactly for you. Hey, it's one of the most important decisions in your life. Let us help you through it. Here's our number. Call 65 Plus Medicare now at 855-301-5506, 855-301-5506, 855-301-5506. That's 855-301-5506.
Australia's national netball team, the Diamonds, were facing bankruptcy by the end of this year when Australia's richest woman, Gina Reinhardt, stepped in with an $8.8 million sponsorship deal from Hancock Prospecting. That deal would have saved the day for the Diamonds. But it is no longer on the table after players announced that Hancock Prospecting was not in alignment with their values and beliefs about social justice, anti-gambling, and no smoking. Question: do you think the Diamonds were right or wrong in choosing to bite the hand that feeds?
This is a judgment call for the people that made the judgment call. It's my personal opinion that it sounds like the players drove this decision, not the organization. And I think that's what's wrong here, not the decision into of itself. But this is a classic case of the inmates running the asylum, and it's not their business to do that. The ownership of the club or the league, it wasn't clear if this was a league thing or a club thing, but either way, the ownership group, the general management, those are the people that get to make decisions like that. If I was the general manager or owner of this team after this incident, if it indeed was the players that led this charge, which it sounds like it was, I would fire each and every one of them and say, well, if you're going to shoo off people that are going to pay me, I'm not going to pay you because I need to get paid in order to pay you. And that's how this works. It's called real life. This wasn't your decision to make. You made it for me. So now I'm making a decision. You're all dismissed. I'm closing up shop. How about that? That would be my response. What I hear from this is a bunch of players stepping out of their lane and doing something that's not in their jurisdiction or proper prudence to do. I don't really care, really. It's netball. Like, I don't even barely know what that is. I guess that's badminton. I don't know. But, like, I don't even care what the decision was. It's just that it sounds like it was made by the wrong person. This sounds like a classic example of IT making a sales decision instead of letting the sales team make a sales decision. Like, this shouldn't be how it went. And if I'm understanding this right, it sounds like the players did this, not the organization. And that's the problem here, not whether they choose to use misaligned and, misguided as they might be. I'm never upset when people put their values over their money, but it's emphasis on their values over their money. This was not their money. It will be indirectly if the owners do what I would do, but I think that's probably unlikely. So basically they use their values to take away someone else's money. And that's what I have a problem with. Not that they chose their values over money. It's just that it wasn't their money to make that decision with.
I agree completely. Netball, by the way, is real similar to basketball.
Okay.
It's played 7-a-side. And the biggest difference is a player has to stand still when they receive the ball until they pass it to someone else.
Okay. So like 1950s basketball.
Yeah, basically, it's not all predicated on dribbling, but I agree. The social justice thing is something to stand behind if you don't need money.
Right.
Basically, what they're doing is they're cutting over $8 million out of their lives, which means they're cutting their salaries. I hate seeing leagues fold, teams fold, players lose jobs anywhere. But I have no sympathy for them.
No, I mean, they just nuked their own organization.
Right. And if you want to stand on that hill that bad, don't whine when the checks stop coming.
That's right.
They better be able to stand up and own it then. And I'm just curious as to how many players really want to die on that hill.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's interesting. That's a good point you bring up is like, I don't know how many players are on a netball team, let alone this team in particular. But like, if it's similar to basketball, let's just say 10 for an easy number.
Well, I'd probably go 15 considering there's 7 people on the court at once.
Okay, so 15, fine. So it's 15. We'll say 15. What was this a unanimous vote? Was it one or two guys who hold all the power like you see on a typical NBA roster? Was it 10 out of 15? Like to your point, how many players were really on board with this? Because it does sound like they made the decision here.
Oh, it absolutely does. It absolutely does. They this could hurt an entire league. This thing's been around for almost 100 years. But if you really want to, and you think they're not just destroying themselves financially, they're hurting coaches, office staff, people who do the most basic things in an organization.
Right. Arena
everyone
personnel.
counts on everyone counts on these jobs.
Right. Not to mention, if you take this to the nth degree, if the team folds, that's an untold number of future jobs that they, for future players and staff and everyone else, the whole thing that they now made not be in existence.
And this is not a small league. I just realized there's a good number of teams in this. You could be doing damage without that money to more than just your own team. And like I said, if that's the hill you want to die on, okay. But you got to pay the fiddler if you want to dance. And this is not the way to do it.
No, it's not.
How many companies have made deals with the devil? When there's money involved, just about every company would.
That's right.
Just about.
Yep. And by the way, that's what a company's supposed to do. I mean, like, companies are supposed to make their operation profitable. That's like their job.
Right.
Like that's really what they're supposed to do. This is bad, man. I mean, this is a type of thing that shows player empowerment going too far. By the way, if I'm off base on this completely, because this story, my knowledge of it is confined to that 90-second soundbite, whatever it was.
I couldn't find anything else online.
Then so be it. I'm sorry, but like from the little bit I can ascertain from what we heard together just a few minutes ago, it's players doing this, and based on what I know about sports, it's probably a handful of like their top players, not the whole group. Like generally the 9th man on the bench, like just take the Lakers, for example, like Matt Ryan, what's his, I think it's Matt or Mike Ryan is not going to say, yeah, let's stand on moral grounds right now. Like, no, I got to try to make it a career. but
Right.
like his opinion's not going to matter whether he says yay or nay. So he's just not going to say anything. That's the case in every sport. So like if it is players driving the ship, I'm pretty close to certain that it would just be the top couple of guys doing everything.
I would think so.
Because that's just how the power structure typically works.
I would think so. But this is very similar to the WNBA. I mean, this is also a women's league, but it's typical to that as well. And women's basketball in Australia is big,
Right.
very big. The WNBA has been on the social justice thing too, and it's cost them in a few ways.
Yeah, well, social justice is very seldom profitable. And maybe less seldom adequately targeted and based in actual reality. There was a point in American history where it was, but
Right.
I feel that the modern social justice crowd are basically they're longing to have been born in the 40s versus the 90s. They want so bad to be marching with Martin Luther King and the Kennedys and, maybe Jackie Robinson in his post-baseball life, Muhammad Ali. They want so bad to be a part of all of that. And they're not because of when they were born. And so they're trying to basically do the same things. But the problems that those original protests were designed to combat thankfully, no longer exist. So they're basically, in a weird way, creating the same problems with the same solutions that 60 years ago, the solution fixed the problem. Now that same solution is causing the problem that solution previously fixed. They're basically trying to wind back history for their own amusement.
There still are some issues. I'm not going to say there's not, but yeah, that was a time when those problems were seriously addressed. And the list of people you mentioned, I would have been happy to march with at any time.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had a reason, they had a right.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, there's a reason Bill Russell is revered the way he was, or the way he is.
Right.
Like, absolutely. So I think it's clear, but the thing is, and this should be celebrated, that type of activism, when it's aimed at something that's legitimately there, usually will have the desired or close to the desired effect of alleviating the problem. And in this case, it did. So we should move on to something else. Because there's, like you said, there's plenty of problems in the world.
Right.
But the things that these social justice campaigns are normally aimed at are no longer among them in most cases. So that's a whole different thing. But like, man, this type of stuff is dangerous. I mean, because it costs people jobs.
It does.
And
I mean, do we have it perfect? No. But we have it better than a lot of other countries do.
Absolutely. This is nuts. Really absolutely nuts.
And I wouldn't, if there were issues I wanted to fight for, I would, but I would not base my well-being on it.
No. There you go. Well, there you have it. All right, well, let's take a break. We'll come back. World Series game was played last night. Oh, yeah, baseball. It's still there. We'll talk about that. Not so good for the Astros. Back after this, the Gary Ayd Show. You're on the Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
I keep joking about the whole thing that like baseball feels like, oh yeah, it's still here. But the truth is what's not helping this series is we're having feast and famine. Like all three games with a rain out in between there have been essentially wipeouts. 2 in favor of the Phillies now and 1 in favor of the Astros, game 2. Like there's no juice to this thing, Rich. There's no drama. Like it just
game 1 had it.
Yeah, it did. That's true.
In extra innings.
Yeah, that's true. But like that feels like a lifetime ago.
It does. It really
feels
does.
like that was back in August, and I know it was only like a week ago, but like it just doesn't. There's just no cadence to this series. There's like I haven't once been like anticipating like, okay, this game's coming up. Like nowhere in this series have I been like, really like amped for the next salvo here. Like it just feels dead.
It does. And a lot of it is a major time lapse. The games before the series started, the rain out didn't help. No matter what, they weren't going to be able to avoid all football. I would have rather played on a Thursday.
Yes.
And lost that and kept the Sunday off.
Yes.
Which meant they would have had to start early, and I would have been all for it.
Right. See, now this is going to sound like something like a Bill Veeck would come up with something like this. But like, honestly, and you'd have to do it hush hush, of course. But like, I would intervene if I was Major League Baseball, and I would go up to like 1 or 2 players, probably 1 player on both teams, that like a not important player, but someone who's like known to have an opinion. Be like, look, we'll throw you this amount of money, whatever. Just go and say something spectacular in the media, like detrimental to the other team, and you respond. Like, let's create some juice here. I'm serious. Like,
it would be a Bill Veeck thing.
Like, I totally would do that right now. This thing needs something, man. It needs a little something. So what if it's a bit manufactured? Like, I totally would do that. Like, go. Who's your 9th reliever? Oh, this guy. Go say you slept with Bryce Harper's mother. Pull a Delonte West. Let's do that real quick. I don't know. I'm just making that up. But like,
that would be interesting.
Like just something right now. Like, let's bring some attention back to this. Any attention is good attention, right? Like the sort of saying goes. Let's do something. This is Stalesville, baby. This thing is dull.
Just make sure Harper knows about it in advance.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Let's coordinate this. We're going WWE here. There's no question about this. This is Kelfob all the way. This isn't real, but we need some juice here, guys. Just play it up. Let's go. I mean, seriously.
I mean, yeah, game 2 wasn't interesting unless you're an Astros fan. Game 3 was mega interesting last night if you're a Phillies fan.
Oh, yeah.
And in a great moment yesterday, a kid missed a home run ball. And the Philly announcer noticed it. And he went down to the dugout. This was extremely interesting. It's an outstanding job. It was play-by-play announcer Tom McCarthy.
Okay.
And Nick Castellanos had something to do with it too. Brandon Marsh's home run popped out of this 10-year-old kid's glove. Name was Ty. McCarthy, in the middle of a game, grabbed the ball. He went to personally deliver the ball to the kid, but it was autographed by Jimmy Rollins and Jason Worth. Castellano also threw a ball to him during the game. So you've taken this 10-year-old kid, you've made him a fan for life, and it's a night he'll never remember.
He'll never forget, you mean?
He'll never forget.
Yeah.
I would never remember. He'll never forget. But a great story, and pardon me for having to read.
That is a good story. That is a great
was
story.
Just super, super cool thing to do. So he's got an autographed ball, a ball a player threw him, and hey, does it get better?
No, it really doesn't. It absolutely doesn't.
The bad thing is that's the most exciting thing that happened in the game. Unless, again, you're a Phillies fan and you enjoyed the hell out of those 5 homers.
Ridiculous.
Well, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit because when we were talking about moments in the series or, anticipated moments, I said, are we going to have that Bryce Harper moment?
Oh, we got it yesterday.
And we did. If we have a clip of that, cool. I didn't see it.
We'll take it. We'll take a listen. By the way, just a little PSA. I just saw on the Facebook page, we are apparently looking for staff to assemble boxes at some exorbitant rate. Yeah, that's not true. Cave Talk Radio is not looking for anyone to assemble boxes. That would be very strange. No, we're not going to pay $15.75 a week. No, we don't provide transportation. And yes, I did delete it and report the spammer to the admin, which of course is me. But I reported them to myself. So just a little quick PSA.
That's nuts.
Isn't that great?
That is nuts.
Oh man, absolutely.
I didn't realize we had an employment agency here too.
Isn't that wonderful to assemble boxes?
This is interesting. If there's an opening for a shoelace retipper, I'm going.
That's right. Well, while you do that, I am applying to be Guy Fieri's assistant on Triple D.
Yes.
That's the job I want. Like, just let me be a gaffer. Whatever. I'll hold the camera thing. If I get to eat all the food for free, like I'm in. And I live in that sweet RV. Oh, I'm in.
That would be a dream job.
I am in, man. I need nothing else in my life.
He doesn't really get to drive the car, I found out, though.
Who, Guy?
Yeah. He drives that little hot rod up like 3 feet to his destination.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And gets out of the car. They don't trust him with the car, I guess.
I would just assume it was his car because, I mean, I'm sure he can afford a car like that.
Oh, he can, but it's not his.
Huh. That's disappointing to hear. Really is.
I was surprised when I found it out. Hey, one thing real quick. I know we're almost up against it. Going back to Steve Nash, Sean Marks said that Nash told him that this wasn't a good fit. He understood he wasn't the best fit for the roster. So he's no dummy.
Right.
And I'm glad they came out with that. The team is considering other options, including Quinn Snyder.
Quinn Snyder wouldn't be a bad hire.
He wouldn't be Udoka.
No, and if I was Quinn Snyder, I think his stock is really high right now. I'm not selling that stock to get KD and Kyrie and this dumpster fire. See, if I'm Quinn Snyder, I'm okay playing the Ty Lue game and waiting a year or so for a better opportunity. Like, I'll give you
Yeah.
an example. Not that they're in a great position right now, but I have more faith in the organization. There's a reasonable chance that Popovich is not going to coach all that much longer. That would be a position I would hold out for if I was Quinn. I don't know if he has ties enough to get that, but he's certainly
He might.
He's certainly an accomplished enough coach.
Yes.
Another position I could see opening up if things don't shape up a little bit. I think the organization probably thinks they're better than they are, but I could see Atlanta maybe making a rash decision at some point and going in a different direction if they barely make the playoffs or are a non-factor this year. And that's a pretty talented roster that maybe he could do something with. There's a couple of jobs I could see on the horizon. I wouldn't touch this one if I'm someone like Quinn Snyder. If it's not Udoka, who kind of needs just a second chance right now. If it's not Udoka, to me, this would be a job for a first-time head coach who someone who's maybe on their last job, like a Mike D'Antoni or a Mike Brown or someone like that.
Yeah.
Because if I'm an established guy in my prime coaching years, or I'm the hot assistant that everyone's coveting, I'm not cashing in that cachet for this job.
Agreed. I think Kyrie and Durant would like Mike D'Antoni.
I think so too. I think Ben Simmons would hate Mike D'Antoni.
Yes. Yes.
What do you mean you won't shoot? Have you ever watched me play, dude? Come on. I don't know how I'm old. I don't know how to turn on that DVR thing. It's not a DVR anymore, Mike. It's a streaming device. What the hell? Stream? That's a boat. Oh, never mind.
I gotta have one of these of my own. What do you think I am, a millionaire?
Actually, yes. You better be a millionaire with all them contracts you signed.
Plus, he got paid decent bucks to play in Italy, too, for a number of years when he was done in the NBA.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Hour 2 around the corner. Top 5 is next. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. All righty, hour 2 of the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. CaveTalkRadio.com, the Cave Talk Radio app, and Facebook and YouTube Live. Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo. Great to have you aboard. Hour 2, as we mentioned, top of the hour can only mean one thing. It's time for the top 5.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for King Talk Radio's Top 5.
All righty, there we have it. Thank you, Jack George. What do we got today, Rich?
Let's do something fun today.
Okay.
Something that doesn't mean anything, but is just, we need some fun.
Let's have some fun. I love fun.
Give me your top 5 all-time favorite sports team logos.
Team logos?
Yes.
I'll give you one, and it's the only thing to like about this team, I guess, unless you're from the region, but I love the Kansas City Royals logo with the crown, and before that, it was always kind of the crown. It was morphed a little bit over the years, but I just love that the name and the logo. I just think is beautiful. I've always loved it. When I was a real kid, I'm talking probably less than 7 years old, that was my first favorite team, only because it was probably the Yankees or someone were playing them one random day, and it just happened to be on whatever channel my parents had on, and I just saw that logo, and I was like, I like that. And I didn't even know it was called a logo at that point. I was so young. I mean, but I just remember at one point uttering the words, the Royals are my favorite team, and I'm glad we get smarter as we get older, because, man, that would have been really stupid. Well, some of us get smarter as we get older. You're supposed to. That's the way it's supposed to go.
It should work.
Yeah. So that's one for sure. I like the Celtics logo too. I think the Celtics logo is really cool with the leprechaun and the various apparatuses it's had over the years. I've always been a fan of the Celtics logo. I liked back when the Ducks had the actual Mighty Duck logo for a little while.
Yes.
I thought that was cool. That was short-lived, but I loved it because I was a big fan of that movie. Especially Mighty Ducks 2. Let's see. I like in football, I think my favorite football logo is probably the Raiders. I think the Raiders logo is pretty cool. I always did like their logo. The New York logos are kind of unimaginative. I guess the Yankees is probably the best one, but I don't really like any of them that much. Lakers logo is not that exciting. Now I'm trying to remember the team, but there was a team. It might have been like the old St. Louis Hawks. They had a logo. It looked like a person or something. I can picture it in my mind, but I can't really describe it. So I'm going to put that one to the back burner for a moment. I like the logo of the St. Louis Blues too. I always thought more the colors than the design. Yeah. I like the dark blue. I think that's pretty cool. And let's try to think of some other baseball ones. I don't know. Maybe Seattle has a pretty cool logo. The Mariners. Their logo is pretty cool. I'm a fan of them. I like the Red Sox logo. A lot of baseball logos. In basketball, the Grizzlies logo is awesome. That's definitely on my list. Definitely the Grizzlies. I just thought of that one. 100%. I mean, it's a bear, for crying out loud. I mean, that's just cool. And
it's too friendly of a bear for me.
It is too friendly of a bear. And you know what? I'm just in the mood to turn the knife just a little bit. The Washington Redskins. Yes, the Redskins. Oh, insensitive. Yes, I am. Deal with it. The
Yeah,
Redskins.
You can go Cleveland Indians for that.
That's
man.
the Cleveland Indians.
One
Yes.
of the best logos ever.
That's right. We're going with the Redskins and the Indians. You damn socialist softies. The hell with you. That's number 1 and number 2, just for the fun of it. I don't even know if that's true or
Oh.
not, but just for the fun of it. Just because I'm in the mood and I like to turn the knife a little bit when I'm in the mood like this. All right, so I think that's a good list. So let's narrow this down. I am gonna go the Indians number 1. 1 for the reason I just mentioned, and 2, it is a damn cool logo.
Chief Wahoo, yeah,
Yeah.
it's an amazing logo.
Yes.
I still have one of those hats. And
Oh, they're awesome. While we're at it, let's say Uncle Ben's rice and Aunt Jemima's syrup and Land O'Lakes butter too. While we're at it, just throw those in there.
what the heck was wrong with Land O'Lakes?
Well, you know what was funny about that? Because they depicted a Native American woman or something. So you know what was funny about that? After they took that logo away and they just left like the land behind it, they're like, it's the most American thing ever. We took the land and got rid of the Indian. That's what the meme said.
Oh,
That's exactly what
That's
happened.
terrible.
Isn't that terrible?
I'm personally wearing one of my favorites.
Oh, the Pittsburgh.
The Pirates with the Jolly Roger and the pirate is an amazing logo.
That is a good one. That's funny.
You remember the old ABA had some incredible logos.
Yeah, well, that's
another
the thing.
one that would be politically incorrect to have today, the Anaheim Amigos.
Oh, there we go.
Go look it up if you're not familiar. But
Oh,
out of all the great ones, my favorite was the Spirits of St. Louis.
that was
with the
Bob.
plane.
That was Bob Costas's first broadcasting job,
Yes.
and the home of Marvin Bad News Barnes, the ultimate crackhead in basketball
Oh, jeez.
history. In an era where everyone was a cocaine addict, he took it to a whole different level. It's a shame he did too, because man, that guy was about as talented a player as there was in those days.
He was, and he was a nice guy
Yeah.
to his own detriment,
Yep.
but a really nice person.
Yeah, very, very much a shame how that played out. But getting back to the logos, I'm sure there's a bunch from years gone by that I would love if I just did a little research on this. But off the top of my head, I'm going Indians number 1, Redskins number 2. I'm gonna go the Atlanta Braves number 3. I'm a Met fan. This is how much I hate this PC cancel culture bullcrap. I'm gonna say the Braves number 3 just for the hell of it. I'm getting ahead of it because they're coming for that next. The hell with you. I'll start doing the Braves chop as a Met fan just to spite you friggin' nutcases.
I don't think they're getting them. I
I really hope not, but I'm getting ahead of it. I'm putting them at number 3. That's my theme of the day. Fight the power. The hell with these people. Let's see. What else I got? Now on a more serious note, I like the Royals logo a lot. I'm definitely putting that one in there. And I like the Celtics logo. So yeah, that's gonna be my top 5. 1 Indians, 2 Redskins, 3 Braves, 4 Royals, and 5 Celtics.
Nice.
With a little significant coloring of the hell with cancel culture mixed in there. By the way, that's another thing. That last 8 minutes or 10 minutes of radio, you won't hear that on another sports talk show. I can promise you that. Only me will say that, but I will say it, and I'll probably say it again too.
I don't doubt it.
I'll probably say it again.
Well, what are you going to do? Fire the host? Come on.
That's right. It's good to own the business. It does help. All right, there you have it. That's today's top 5. That was a lot of fun. By the way, quick little note. We'll be making a field trip today, at least myself and a couple of friends, down to Peter Luger's Steakhouse in New York City as a way of honoring my late father who died 2 years ago today. And instead of, trying to have a day that, of course, is a bad memory, we're doing our best. We've made this an annual pilgrimage to sort of create a positive as best we can out of a really bad memory. So instead of doing this on like his birthday or some otherwise happy occasion, we specifically chose the date of his death to try to make a otherwise bad day something to at least have an element of looking forward to and positivity and doing something that, was right in line with what he would do. That was one of his favorite places. My dad was a butcher, as a matter of fact, for a lot of years, and in Brooklyn. And so he was naturally a big fan of Peter Luger's Steakhouse. I mean, who isn't kind of? Oh yeah, the same people that canceled the logos because they probably eat tofu. That's why they're mad at everything and canceling all the logos. They're pissed off because they're eating fake food. Go eat a steak. You'll be happier, I promise. Am I wrong?
What is with you today?
I told you, I'm just in the mood.
Oh boy.
Oh man. I don't know, but no, we're going down there today to celebrate my dad's life, and it should be a lot of fun. We'll do that after the show, but that was a good top 5. That was a lot of fun.
I'm a firm believer in celebration of life.
Absolutely.
I would rather be celebrating someone's life than mourning at the funeral.
Yep. No, that's it. I mean, it's really a big deal. I mean, I try to put positivity on everything. And the best way to turn something as bad as the death of a loved one into a positive is to pick something that they loved doing, do it with people they cared about, and put it on the day when you would otherwise be just sitting there like with your own thoughts. That was the best way to turn a really bad into as good of an experience as it can be. So we did this last year too, which was the first anniversary of his passing, but we weren't able to go to Peter Luger's because the COVID nonsense was still going on. So we went to a local steakhouse up by me, but that steakhouse has actually since gone out of business, and now the city is back to being a little bit more normal. So Peter Luger's it is, and this will probably be the spot, for their, kind of forever annual pilgrimage. And there's nothing wrong with going to Peter Luger's once a year. I mean,
no, and if it was his favorite, it should be the spot.
Yeah, I mean, he just loved steak. I mean, truthfully, we could just do this at Outback too. He loved that place just as much. But what we do is me and my friend Rob, we do this once a month on the 2nd. But we go usually to Outback locally on in the monthly trips, and then the actual date of his death, we step it up a notch. There's more people, and we go to a nicer place, which is Peter Luger's. But basically, steak, as long as there's quality steak around, my dad would have been like, yeah, that's my favorite place. You said that about the last steakhouse he went to, too. I know, but so that's what he would have said. So anyway, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got some news you can use. We got to look around the NBA. There's other teams besides the Nets still playing, believe it or not. And
we had a busy day in the NHL yesterday, too.
We got some hockey scores to get to as well. So back after this. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
On your next flight, then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines, plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on. You watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then, if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
All right, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show here on the Cave. It's great to have you aboard. And Rich, why don't we hit the NHL scores real quick, and then we'll go to the NBA and maybe get back to some baseball as well.
4 NBA games last night too. It was a very short night. Way too many NHL scores to go through. I want to concentrate on the local teams. It was a banner night. The Rangers beat Philly 1-0 with seconds left to go in overtime and a goal by Chris Kreider. New Jersey all over Vancouver 5-2. Instead of firing Lindy Ruff, they should be talking about him as coach of the year. The Islanders are on a winning streak and playing extremely well, taking care of Chicago 3-1. Other winners last night, Tampa Bay, Vegas. Boston beat Pittsburgh 6-5 in overtime, and it was a great game. Minnesota, Dallas, Edmonton, the Kraken won again. Arizona won their first game in Mullet Arena. And Anaheim beat San Jose in a shootout.
There you go.
And the average for NHL franchises now is moving up into that $1 billion mark, just like every other sport. Which is very good news because some people in Ottawa want to make some money. They're up for sale.
Wonder if Trudeau will buy them because he owes them all the money he cost them by canceling a bunch of games.
He canceled a season for crying out loud.
Yeah.
A season's worth of games.
Ugh, mess. A buddy of mine is a hockey broadcaster in Maine, and they often travel to Canada, and it's still kind of funky. He says, like, it's gotten better than it was last year. He says it's pretty close to normal now, but it's still like on the when they go to Canada, everyone's just thinking about it a little bit more than they would a equal distance road trip to a different location. Those were his words to me.
For me, it's been easier getting over than back.
Yeah,
most of the issues I had were on this side, and that shouldn't be.
No, there's just some weird things going on with that border crossing.
There is, and I still carry everything you have to carry, even though you don't have to anymore.
Right.
Just in case, because I've been asked almost every time.
Right. I understand that. All right, so you got a bunch of good local hockey. One thing that I did want to kind of point out, I was talking to my buddy the other day about the Knicks, and I really think that this team is probably about a player away from being like actually contending on the lower end of the eastern spectrum of like real contenders. Like, I think if they got one more really good piece, I think this team could give Philadelphia problems with one more good piece. I think this team could give Miami problems with one more good piece. I think it's going to be tough to beat Milwaukee and Boston. I think those two teams are significantly better than the rest of the conference right now. But I think the Knicks, if they had a big trade sometime between now and the deadline, I think they're good enough that they could potentially put themselves into that like dark horse category of teams that could maybe make a surprise run to the conference finals or at least the semifinals.
At least the semis, yeah.
Depending how it breaks. I mean, you assume that, between the first round and the semis, they would have to play either Milwaukee or Boston, and they would lose to either one of them. But I think there's a chance that with the right move, they could catapult themselves above Philadelphia, above, teams like Miami potentially. Because I got to tell you, Miami's not impressive looking right now.
Even though they beat the Warriors last night,
They did, yes. The
they
Warriors
haven't
haven't
looked good.
The
And
Warriors haven't looked good either.
Right. They have not.
That's the thing. It's like the Warriors have looked kind of meager to begin with. And that's understandable. They're coming off another championship run. They're probably just like, going through the motions right now. I'd expect them to turn it on at some point. But right now, the Knicks at 3-3. I know they're only 500, but like the whole Eastern Conference is 500. Cleveland is 5-1, and Milwaukee hasn't lost yet. Boston's 4-2. Those are the three best records in the East right now. Toronto and Atlanta and Philly and the Bulls all have 4 wins, but between 3 and 4 losses. I have to tell you, I like this Knicks roster. I like the way that they score. Right now, they're in the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference right now in points scored. In fact, I think they're actually the top team, believe it or not, in points per game in the Eastern Conference is none other than the New York Knicks. Isn't that crazy?
It is.
They're a
It is,
tenth of a
but
point ahead of Cleveland.
I think this team's just going to get better.
Here's what's interesting. You want to see something crazy? So right now, the Knicks are averaging 117.8, which is a shade above the Cavaliers at 117.7. They are identical, the Cavs and the Knicks, in points allowed per game. Oh no, I read that wrong. Never mind. I thought they were both at 115.7. So the Cleveland Cavaliers are 105.7. I misread there. Okay, never mind. Because I was gonna say their point differential was the same, and I was like, but it's not. So okay, so never mind. But yeah, so the Knicks giving up a lot of points, scoring a lot of points. That is an anti-Tom Thibodeau team, that's for sure.
It is.
But yeah, they're bottom 6 or so in the conference in points allowed. But it also shows that Tibbs is able to make adjustments and go in a direction that his roster dictates he go in. And that's the mark of a great coach. Any coach that can do that has my respect, because that shows that, like, hey, I'm gonna do what I can to win with the team I have.
Yep, and he is, and he's doing a nice job.
Yeah, he is.
Funny thing is, 4 games last night, 3 of the winning teams scored 116. Miami, Phoenix, and Oklahoma City, who beat Orlando. The only team that didn't score 100 all night was Brooklyn, who lost to Chicago 108-99.
Yeah.
Do we have time to do NFL power rankings?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that right now, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Bills are still number 1, right? I'm imagining.
I have them 1. I hesitated because they didn't look like it last week. But then the more I looked back, I think they took that punch in the mouth on purpose, not to give the Packers what they wanted. And the fact that Green Bay was down and still didn't want to throw told me something. Yeah. I got the Eagles 2, Kansas City 3,
yep,
Minnesota 4,
okay,
Dallas 5.
Okay, interesting.
I got the Ravens 6. Despite being 4-4, I have the 49ers 7th. I have the Seahawks 8th. I'm debating. I do. I was debating. I have the Ravens. Did I say the Ravens?
Yeah, you had them at 6.
At 6, right. I have the Dolphins 9th. Here we go.
Here we go. Okay.
And the Tennessee Titans 10th.
Okay. All right.
Barely edging out the Giants.
All right, so this is my list. I have the Bills 1. You got the Chiefs 2 and the Eagles 3.
Okay.
I still think the Chiefs are the second best team in the NFL. Then I have I'm gonna put the Vikings 4. I agree with you there. Cowboys 5th. I agree there too. I'm gonna go with the Niners at 6th. I think that even though they're 4-4, man, they looked good last week, and Christian McCaffrey, I just think now that he's like settled in there, that he's a difference maker. They're gonna run off some wins here. They have to. So I got them at 6. 7, I'm gonna go with the Titans. I really like their coach. I love Henry, and this is just a stable team that's just like consistently good for the last several years. I'm gonna go ahead and put the Ravens at 8. I have some questions about their ability to win one-on-one matchups outside of Andrews, but I love the pickup of Roquan Smith. He helps them immeasurably defensively. So
I do too. And the fact they're so good at winning close games
yes,
made
well,
me
and that's
pick them as high as I did.
No, that's fair, and that's attributable to their kicker. I mean, Stover is about as good a kicker as there is like ever. Tucker, I said Stover.
Tucker.
Yeah, Stover's their previous kicker, who was also really good.
Yeah.
No, Tucker.
Can
Tucker.
you imagine going 25 years not needing it to worry about kicker?
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that's true. Yeah, I mean, like it feels like it's the same guy for 25 years. They just changed the name. No, he's Tucker's a great kicker. And then so number 9, I'm gonna go. This is where it gets tricky. 9 and 10 are hard for me because I don't really think there's 9 or 10 really good teams. I think there's 8 really good teams. I'm not there with the Seahawks just yet. I'm done with the Rams. I'm going to go ahead and give the Dolphins a little plug here. I do think with their recent pickups, they're going to be pretty decent. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins at 9. And then 10, based on record alone, I'm going to go with the Giants. But I don't feel they're really that great. But on record alone, I'm going to put them there at 10.
The reason I went all in on Seattle being what I think I had them 8th.
Yeah, 8th, yep.
9 draft picks last year, 6 are contributing big time. Cross and Lucas, if you look at the pass block win rates, they're both in the top of the league for offensive tackles. Kenneth Walker, the young running back, 5 touchdowns in the last 4 games. Tariq Woolen and Kobe Bryant, spelled differently. 8 turnovers combined, rookies. Got a rookie outside linebacker that's making plays. An undrafted safety is probably one of the best special teams players in the league. They're getting a lot of help from young people, and I think Pete Carroll works best with young players.
Yes, that's definitely true.
And I think they still have some noise to make.
I don't disagree. I don't don't know. I have a hard time putting a team quarterbacked by Geno Smith in my top 10 still. That took a decade to build that reputation. It's going to take more than 8 games to unbuild it with me.
I like what he's doing.
Like, yeah, I'm not ready to go there just yet. But they're there, but I'm not quite ready to go there just yet. I look at the Giants. The reason I put them in there is I feel that they've accomplished a lot with very, very little, and all kind of on the fly. I mean, it's a whole new regime, a whole new way of doing things. And Barkley has re-blossomed into the player we saw his rookie year. with health and with the right coach in place. I trust the Giants to be in every game because of that running game. They might occasionally get stuffed on the run, and if that happens, they might struggle to score. But in general, teams that defend like they do, are coached as well as they are, and run the ball like they do, generally are tough wins for any team that they play, no matter how much more talent the other team has. Those three things, when done in unison, are a recipe for being in every football game.
True.
And they have been since time immortal.
And that's the reason why I put the 49ers up there.
Yes.
One of the main reasons, health.
Yeah, I had them at 6. I mean, I think a lot of them.
I had them at 7.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might be, they very well could represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. They have enough to do that. They could beat Philadelphia. They could beat Minnesota. They could beat Dallas.
They could.
You know,
think about that offense though. When have you seen Samuel, Ayuk, receivers both healthy? Kittle's healthy. The other running back, Wilson, all healthy. Of course, you got McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, and the fullback are expected to come back after the bye week. A lot of firepower. And a lot of options for Garoppolo. That combined with that defense, I think they can move even up higher. Right now, I couldn't put them in my top 5 because of record. It's also why I had a hard time leaving the Giants out.
Bit of breaking news here in the NFL. Deeply disappointing to me. Dan Snyder has hired Bank of America to explore selling the Washington Redskins.
Oh.
Just going to roll over and die like the rest of these weaklings, huh?
This is awful.
Just going to take it.
This is just awful news.
It really is.
I do not like this. I thought he was the one that had some fight in him.
I did too. I'm very disappointed in this. Don't be Joe McCarthy. At least if you sell the team, drop this list you say you have, right? Like, don't be Senator Joe McCarthy. Don't like say you have a list and then it turns out to be toilet paper. Like, let's see those names. If you're gonna go out and these people aren't gonna be part of your life anymore, why not just give them a kick in the ass on the way out the door? At least do that. Like, I understood holding on to this quote unquote list if you were going to try to hold on to the team, so you always had a potential trump card. But if you're going to sell the team, at least air the laundry first.
Absolutely. I'm all here for it.
Like, let's go. Come on.
I think there's some other things happening behind the scenes, and I would not put it past the NFL to have done something. I can't say what, but something to make sure he sold.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if he was threatened in some way.
Right. I mean,
because they're afraid of it. Believe me, they don't say it, but you know they are.
Well, that's why I would drop it if you really have the goods. Like, to me, if you're gonna sell the team and you're not going to air the laundry, it tells me that you don't really have it to begin with. That's the only conclusion I can draw in that case.
Unless the NFL has something they can kick him out on, and they've agreed to let him sell the team for not doing it.
So sell the team and then do it.
I would do it simultaneously.
Like, get your money.
Sell the team, get everything on paper, and say, by the way, look at this.
Right, exactly. I totally would do that. I mean, this is disappointing.
I'm devastated.
Yeah, it's very disappointing that he's just going to roll over. And you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be surprised. I mean, he did roll over and change the name. He did roll over and fire, all the people that were associated with the Gruden thing. Like, so he's capitulated at every step of the way before this. He he barks a lot, but at the end of the day, he won't bite anyone.
Yeah.
And maybe
That Gruden lawsuit won't go away no matter how many times the NFL try to have it dismissed.
Yeah, it's this is disappointing news. It really is.
Although I think they're going to have Gruden in court until he's too old to realize anything.
So he's like the president? Oh, man.
What a shame that is, too. Because I'd love to see him open whatever he has.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really care so much about the Gruden thing other than my big interest here is I am so sick of this precedent that's now been well established that you could just strip someone or force someone out of ownership of, their own property. I just think this is dangerous, very dangerous. And
it is.
I don't like it. I don't care who the owner is. Donald Sterling was an absolute piece of garbage. The whole league is better without his presence. There's no question about that.
Experience and agreeing with
yes. There's no doubt the league's better with Steve Ballmer owning the Clippers than with Sterling. But the precedent that set and that has now been used multiple times in multiple sports is bad.
It is.
It's just not good.
It is. And I thought Snyder would be the last one to take that deep to dive, but it's a shame. It's a sad day.
He's going right for the exits. I mean, I guess in some ways, the one thing I kind of get is like whatever he bought that team for, it's multiplied in value by how many times. And I guess at a certain point with all the BS he's dealing with, he just thinks I don't need this anymore.
Could be at his age. It could be. I just want to get out of this.
Right.
Because I'm sure if the NFL had their way, he'd have been gone.
Yeah, and Snyder's not that old. He's only 57.
I assumed he was older. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's only 57.
Oh, then he's even crazier for selling.
I agree. I would hold on to this thing forever and ever.
Oh, yeah. I would too. That's insane. It's just wrong.
Oh, it really is. It's very wrong.
And this was confirmed and everything?
Yeah, this is the only thing that's being reported is that he's hiring the bank to explore selling the team. And it's Bank of America he's hiring. So
interesting. Very interesting. I just don't because I did not see anything about it.
It's not good. I just saw it. One of our listeners indicated it in the chat, and I did a quick little search, and yeah, it's all over the place. Forbes has it, Yahoo, it's all over the place.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Nothing else.
All right, well, let's take a break, and we'll come back.
This is terrible.
We'll come right back, and we'll do some news you can use to wrap up the show. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All right, we're back. Great to have you aboard. Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo. Let's do some news you can use.
Something interesting from the game last night, the Astros Phillies game. Philly became the fourth team in history to hit 5 home runs in a World Series game. The other 3 are the Astros in 2017, the A's in 1989, and the 28 Yankees. Now, conversely, Lance McCullers Jr. was on the wrong side of history. He became the first pitcher to give up 5 homers in a World Series game. Not good.
No, that's what you would call bad.
Yes.
I mean, the thing about the Phillies is they are explosive offensively. We know this. And this is where, like, I was seeing today on the interwebs, local interwebs, how one of the Phillies know that the Yankees don't. Like, well, the Phillies know how to hit up and down the whole lineup. That's what they know how to do. Like, the Yankees all year were basically Aaron Judge or bust for the most part. There were moments when early in the season, everyone's favorite scapegoat now, Josh Donaldson, was really good. There were times when Stanton got hot. There were times, when Gleyber Torres looked really good again. Like, so everyone had their little moment, but nothing besides Judge, and including Judge in the playoffs, sustained. And this Phillies lineup sustained for huge chunks of the year. Like, Kyle Schwarber led the National League in home runs, as Judge led Major League Baseball in home runs. But then on top of that, you have Bryce Harper, you have Castellanos. This team is, you have Realmuto. This team is like real hitters, not guys that like, wow, he has so much talent, Gleyber. Like, well, do something with it. Like, this team gets, really is an offensive juggernaut. So that's what they know that the Yankees don't. How about that?
That pretty much says it all. I have some news that will sadden you a little. I know you wanted him back. Albert Pujols officially signed his retirement papers.
Mm-hmm.
He says he will not return in 2023.
It's understandable. Goes out on top.
Of course, he didn't say he wouldn't come back in 2024.
That's true. I don't know. Like, I mean, I kind of assumed that he was not going to ever come back. So this isn't like a big breaking news to me, but I was a big fan of his.
Yes. Yes. Oh, an amazing player.
Oh, such a great player.
Run he had at the end. So much fun to watch. It's not a good year to be a Brady in the NFL. We've touched on Tom enough, but the Colts fired offensive coordinator Marcus Brady after an ugly offensive start. My question to you is, what is that going to fix? He didn't call the plays.
Nothing. Now we can just call it the Brady Bunch. How about that?
So they're gonna pay him to continue not calling plays.
Yeah,
That's good.
naturally. Makes
Nice
sense.
work if you can get it.
Absolutely. Look, I love getting paid to do nothing. Are you kidding me? I would be the best in the world at that. I could totally rock that job. All right, what else we got?
Was Lance McCullers Jr. tipping his pitches last night?
Certainly seems that way.
I saw a video that made me think he was. Obviously, I'm sure it was not on purpose.
You're probably not.
But that's just odd. I've never seen a story like that all year. Why now? And it was so pronounced that, a novice like me picked it up. I don't understand. I just don't.
By the way, we have little breaking news here.
Ooh.
Pick of the week is in from our own Jim Volkmer. Just got a text from him. You got to listen on Fridays to find out from now on. He was posting it in the group on Facebook. Now it will be exclusively available Fridays on the show. Be sure to be listening. By the way, going into this week, he's 7-1 with these locks.
Yeah, he's been on a run.
So he'll make some money with this. He's already given it to me. We'll release it on Friday. Make sure there's no last minute changes. So be listening on Friday for Jim Volkmer's pick of the week, Gamble and Jim. Pretty good stuff, huh?
Excellent stuff.
Absolutely.
I like that.
No, it's tremendous. So,
yeah, I profited from a few of his picks.
Yeah, look, he's 7-1. You'd be crazy not to just go to the window. He's on it, man. He's really on it.
As he always says.
That's it. Go to the window. That's why.
To go to the
that's
window.
why I used that saying, man. That's exactly why I used it. That's right.
I love it.
All right, what else we got? We got time for maybe one more.
You can find everything out here.
Oh, absolutely.
No reason to go anywhere else.
That's right. Absolutely.
I hate beating this dead horse, but Nets fans and media have been blasting the team on socials for the Udoka talk.
I knew it.
Everyone feels this is a bridge too far.
I said they were going to act this way, as if probably some big percentage of that audience, those people complaining, they've all done the same thing, but they're not famous coaches.
Right.
Like, let's be real. How rare of an occurrence is an affair? Really? It's as commonplace as it gets. Unfortunately, that's not good. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but let's just be real about it. Like, stop being all righteous and holier than thou. Get over it. My goodness.
I expected it from fans, Gary. I did.
Oh, no, I did too.
Just like you did.
I was saying it, an hour ago, right? 2 hours ago.
I'm listening to people like Zach Lowe, who is just saying, do something about this. And I'm like, why?
What do you want him to do?
He was very, very vocal. He said they just fired Nash without any explanation, hired the coach that the Celtics just suspended for what they deemed inappropriate consensual relationship, which just means one of two things. They didn't vet Udoka at all, or they've been vetting him this entire time. I'm so tired of it.
What does he want? What do you mean there's no reason to fire Steve Nash? The team sucks. And
Nash himself said he wasn't the right man.
And Kyrie Irving, as recently as this offseason, was at Nash's house, blatantly disrespecting him to his face. They clearly don't respect this guy.
No.
Like, not even a little bit.
It wasn't the right position for him from the beginning.
The team's underachieving. He says he can't handle the team, that they're not responding to him. The team, when they hired him, said we're hiring him. The players did anyway, that we're hiring him because he's not a coach. We can coach. He can coach. Everyone can coach. No such thing as a coach. We don't need a coach. They said that. Like,
Right.
what else do you need, Zach Lowe? There's a lot of reason to fire him. If nothing else, they shouldn't have hired him in the first place. They came to their senses 2 years later. The very minimum. And then Udoka's a great coach.
Yeah, he is.
Like,
Nets Daily, the same thing. Now that I've updated our story on the Nash to Udoka move, I got to say I am personally disgusted with the whole situation.
Oh,
and like a lot of fans I've spoken to this morning, I believe it's going to take a long time for us to feel comfortable with this franchise, if ever. Ben Couch, the writer, the Nets hiring Ime Udoka at this minute on its own would be incredibly disappointing, cynical, and a mistake. Just a giant blowtorch to values and connecting with your fan base. What are you trying to accomplish as an organization? Well, they're trying to
win some games. Get a coach in there who can get the players playing together. Have some accountability for their failures. I don't know. Should I keep going? I got more.
Sam Vicente, what in the world are you doing, Brooklyn Nets?
Oh, my God.
Mallory Edens, this is so widely disappointing, Nets. When are we going to start taking the task of creating safe and healthy work environments for women in professional sports organizations serious?
That's not the priority of an organization. Sorry, sweetheart. The priority of a basketball team is to win basketball games. And this guy's going to do that. Oh, my God. I'm so sick of my own profession. Our own profession is full of self-righteous, sanctimonious, double-talking noobs. It's like, how could they publish this crap? And then people pat him on the back. Yeah, you're so brave. You're acting like a damn parrot. No one's saying anything original or in any way brave. Like, you know what's brave? What's brave is Kyrie Irving not taking the vaccine and sacrificing his career at the time. That's brave. You know what's not brave? Going out there and saying, when are we going to take this seriously? Families and kids, man. Oh, shut up.
Well, speaking of Kyrie Irving, Brian Windhorst was on First Take, or on Flashpoint, part of First Take.
Yeah, what did he say?
And when they asked him about what the Nets should do with Irving, he said the Nets aren't going to do anything. They haven't done anything for years. They let him do whatever he wants. It's been the case forever. They've never punished him for anything. How can they start now?
They're not going to start now. Well, and now would be the worst time to start. Because, like, let's be real. I know he was terrible last night, but, like, he's been a really productive player for them. And he's the only one who's at least trying to bring the team together. Kevin Durant's not going to do that. He doesn't know how. Kevin Durant can't lead. He couldn't lead a single file line on the fire drill in school. Like, he was standing in the middle. He wasn't in the back even, because that's the last spot people see. He was standing right in the middle. Of course, he stood out because he was probably 9 feet tall, but, like, you know.
I personally don't agree with this, with Kyrie promoting that film.
No.
But he didn't break any law.
It's not a crime. That's what I mean. It's an opinion, maybe a misguided one, but you know what? That's his opinion, and he did nothing other than express it. That's free speech, folks. If you want free speech for you and your opinions, the only way you keep that and have that is to offer the same thing to others when you disagree.
Absolutely.
That is what free speech is. If you don't like it, just come out and say, I like Mao. Okay? Just say it. Oh, this stuff drives me crazy.
I like General So.
Yes. Yes, I love General So. He's a hero, man.
That's
Many
right.
a drunken night did General So save me.
That's right.
General So hangs with Yukon Jack, baby. They're best friends.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we accomplished something today. We probably offended half of America.
Don't worry. I'm not going to throw you under the bus here. I did all of that. I'll take the blame here. I offended everybody. That's okay. Let's see. I got women today. I got the Native Americans. I got the Jews today defending Kyrie. I got everyone today. I'm telling you, man. So the question is, if I hate everybody, does that mean I hate nobody? Or I just don't like anybody? Maybe I just don't like anyone.
I think you hate everybody equally.
I think so. And that's okay. I mean, can you blame me? And people are a little crazy, aren't they? I think.
Absolutely.
Hey, there we go. Yeah, I think we got some stuff done today.
Yeah, I think Mr. Tittle's getting a little upset, though. He wants to get going.
Yeah, he wants to get going. Like, shut up, Gary. All right, Rick. All right, I'll leave the seat. We will see you tomorrow. Thursday Night Football will be the point of conversation, among other things. It's the Gary Ayd Show. Rick Tittle, Tittle Innings Sports is up next here on The Cave.